Today, I'm going to be doing the impossible. I'm going to be ranking every mainline series Pokemon game, including the GameCube games and Legends Arceus and Scarlet and Violet. So let's get into it. We're going to be starting from Gen 1, and then we're going to work our way all the way up to Gen 9. We're going to basically do it in order. And right off the rip, I know there's a lot of Gen 1ers out there, but yeah, red and blue, honestly, they're like a D. Technically, they're like a D because it's too much. Like, if you've ever played the originals, it is so, like, besides the bugs and well, not only the bugs, but it's just how broken the games are. Like, it's so unbalanced, and there's a lot more wrong with this game. I mean, it's unbalanced. There's a lot of bugs. There's no post game besides catching Mewtwo. But I mean, back in the day, people weren't really caring about that because it's the first time around. But yeah, that game is definitely a D. It's D tier, I'd say. And they actually redeemed themselves a little bit with yellow because they fixed some of the stuff, and the coloring and some of the sprites are better and stuff like that. So, and you start with Pikachu, so yeah. And you can get all the starters. It's a little bit better than the first two. Okay, let's go to Gen 2. These games, I gotta be honest, man, these are D because dude, like, they are slightly better than these two games, the first two, but just the amount of Pokemon, the amount of new Pokemon, there's only 100 new Pokemon, but the amount of new Pokemon you can get in this game is slim, and the ones that are new suck, and some of the ones that don't suck you can't get until you beat the game, till you go to Kanto. But I mean, the fact that this game does have Kanto in it, it saves it from being a complete failure, honestly. And here's I'm gonna go ahead and say this right now. No Pokemon game is bad. These are just, you know what I'm saying. It's just, these are the worst of the good. So after those two, where's Crystal at? Crystal's not on here. Oh, here it is. Crystal. I mean, it's got Suicune in there. They kind of added a little bit more stuff in there. The battle towers in this game, so this is actually a better post game than even this game. I'm gonna leave it at the C though. All right, now this is where it starts to get a little bit tough. Yeah, I'm gonna say this is a B. I'm gonna say Gen 3 is a B. Everyone's problem with this one is too much water. I mean, that was IGN's problem, but not when I was playing this game originally, I didn't think it was too much water. The region's literally cut in half. The only problem with this game is there's a lot of water Pokemon. It's so many water Pokemon in this game. The region's cool, the routes are good, the gyms are good. Yeah, it's really not too much, bad about Ruby and Sapphire. Honestly, not that I could think of. Yeah, I'll say it's a B. It's not too bad, and it's not the best. It's a mid tier, a B. Well, that would be a C then. Oh, so then here's what we'll do. We gotta move these down to E, move these to D, boom, and then boom. I know some of y'all gonna be mad, but it is what it is. It's my opinion. We're gonna go to Emerald, automatically S tier. It literally, like, this is the pinnacle. It's close. Yeah, this is the pinnacle. Like, this game improves these two games more than these two games improve these two games, or these games. Like, that Battle Frontier alone, and the extra just a little extra small tiny stuff that they added in there, it's mainly that Battle Frontier. Battle Frontier is probably the best post game, and that's the best thing you could do to any Pokemon game, in my opinion. Since we're in Gen 3, we're just gonna go to the GameCube games with Coliseum. I'm gonna put both of these, XD and Coliseum, in B tier. I'm a huge fan of Coliseum. I think XD might be the better game between the two, but this game is not fair. This is one of the hardest Pokemon games ever. If you never played this game, dude, like the amount of, so first of all, you can't catch Pokemon in the wild. You can only steal people's Pokemon. And it's basically predetermined what Pokemon that you can steal, because the only way you can steal a Pokemon is if it's a shadow Pokemon. So if the game really has set the amount of shadow Pokemon that you can catch, and it basically chooses which Pokemon are shadow Pokemon, and most of them are the sorry Gen 2 Pokemon and some Gen 3 Pokemon, and the ones you can snag, they're not that good. And every battle is double battle. The levels jump like crazy. That last fight is crazy. Like skill swap, Slacking. Come on, man. Skill swaps. It's skill swap. Slow King with Slacking. This dude's crazy. But yeah, this game improves on the Pokemon that you can catch, and it also lets you get some wild encounters. So it did improve what some of this game, but I kind of like Coliseum better in my opinion, but they're both a B. So now we go to Gen 4, or no, actually Fire Red and Leaf Green. I'm gonna put these there. They're C. I mean, they basically, the whole point of, I don't know if you guys know this, but the whole point of Fire Red and Leaf Green was because there was no way you could get there's no way you could transfer Gen 1 and 2 Pokemon onto the Game Boy Advance at that time. So if it wasn't in, if it was a Pokemon that wasn't in Ruby and Sapphire or Emerald, well, Emerald wasn't made yet, but if it wasn't in Ruby or Sapphire, there was no way you could get that Pokemon. So they remade the first gen, and they put some Gen 2 Pokemon in there so you could trade and transfer them over and get them on the new console. But yeah, those games, I mean, they're way better than these two. They improved Gen 1. That's what they were supposed to do, and it added a lot of new content. The Sevi Islands is in there. You catch a lot of legendaries. Yeah, those they're lit. They're lit. These two games are lit. Okay, so let's go to Gen 4. Gen 4 is my favorite gen, but it's still a C, because, well, these two games are so slow, bro. Like, no pun intended, but the routes are extra long, and it seems like everything's meant for you to go slow. Like, you have a long route, and in that route will be obstacles that make your character move slow. Like if you're in that snow route, it's a long route with a bunch of trainers, and you get in that deep snow, and it makes you move slow. Like, and then when you battle, everything in battle is slow. Like the animations is crazy. I don't understand why they did that, but these are still good games, honestly. These are that's my favorite gen, but yeah, these two, they just made them too slow. And Platinum, literally, boom, S tier, because it improved. Once again, it improved what these two had going on. It sped everything up. They're also still kind of slow, but it sped up mostly everything. So S tier. And once again, Battle Frontier is in there. Emerald's Battle Frontier is a slightly better, but I do still like Platinum's Battle Frontier. It's amazing. The whole Distortion World thing. I mean, this is a perfect Pokemon game. These two games are perfect. They are the closest thing you can get to it. And these two right here are, once again, perfect. These games are freaking perfect. Like, they took the complaints that everyone had with Gen 2 and it improved on it. Like, you can get more Pokemon, well, of course, because there's more Pokemon up until this point, but the Dex is better. It's running on that engine, on the Gen 4 engine. And there's just like a lot of, the Pokeathlon is underrated. If you don't know what that is, you gotta do that. The Pokewalker's included. That's pretty cool. Battle Frontier's in there. It's 2 regions. Like, everything's just, it's just amazing. they did this is the pinnacle. Like these are the golden days of Pokemon. Now we move to Gen 5. The original Gen 5 games are A. And in my opinion, a lot of people complained about when this game first came out. People were complaining that the decks, it was all new Pokemon. I think it was like it was more than 150 new Pokemon, I think, in this game. And before you beat the game, you couldn't get any old Pokemon. It was just nothing but Gen 5 mons. And people didn't like that, but I loved it actually. But the only thing bad about Gen 5 is probably the region is just a full circle. Like, I mean, that's the only thing, but the designs are good. I mean, this is just the top tier of that DS age. Like the sprites and everything are just amazing. The story, this is probably the best story in Pokemon history, probably. I really don't have too much complaints, only about except for the region. But other than that, like these games are perfect. Not perfect, but they're pretty good. They're A tier. All right. Black and White 2, S tier. If you're seeing a trend here. These games literally improve of their predecessors. You know, these are sequels, but they added on to the region, which was my complaint in the first one. They put older Pokemon before you beat the game, which was a lot of people's complaint from the first one. And they got the fusion thing, the Kyurem fusion thing. Like, that thing's amazing. The story's amazing. Like, it picks up from where the first one leaves off. Amazing. Like, these are the golden standard when it comes to Pokemon games. Definitely. All right. Now we go to the modern age, Gen 6. Now this is where I'm gonna have to say it. These are D. I know there's a lot of Gen 6 fans, but the thing that this game has going for it is the graphics. Of course, it's the first 3D Pokemon game, but I like the decks too. I'm like kind of moderate on the decks on the new bonds, but that story is terrible. It seems like it was thrown together, and then Gen 6 itself just seems like it's incomplete. Like, it's a lot of loose ends, like the whole what's his name, Zygarde. Like, it's just too many loose ends. Yeah, not the best Pokemon games, but I mean, I played the heck out of it. I mean, it's Pokemon, who doesn't? Yeah, another thing, these right here, D. Like, I was not the biggest fan of the remakes, the Oris remakes. I forgot to talk about Mega Evolution too. Like, that thing is, Mega Evolution is so broken. It's cool, but it's broken. Like, it's a fanboy's dream, but that junk is broken. These two games, I mean, they didn't really do much, you know, from, you know, Emerald. They took out the Battle Frontier. They took out the casino. Like, it's a lot of change stuff. I was not feeling it like that. Still good games, but I wasn't feeling it like that. Then we moved to Sun and Moon. These are like, I'm gonna put them at C. Yeah, these games, I mean, they were fresh because they took the gym challenge out, and we have the totem, the whole totem thing, or the island challenge. That's what it was. So a lot of people were happy about that. But then after the generation, everyone's like, okay, yeah, we want to go back to gyms. But yeah, the Pokemon are cool. The region is very different. Like, 4 islands. This is probably one of the most different Pokemon games out there. But the only bad thing about it is how slow it is at the beginning. Like, they hold your hand too much. I'm like, man, just let me do what I do. And this is probably the same. It didn't do too much. It's a little bit different, but it didn't do too much to like change up the storyline or change up the gameplay. Like, these are literally, they're kind of identical. But what's his name? That Necrozma battle, that battle was crazy. But yeah, it wasn't. I don't remember there being too much besides the Rainbow Rocket stuff. I don't remember there being too much added into Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon for it to be completely different. Still good, but not the best. All right, let's go Pikachu and Eevee. I'm gonna put them at C. I'm gonna put them at C. They're better than these two games, of course. I mean, they look good. And they're different. There's no wild encounters, or there are wild encounters, but you can't battle in the wild. You can only catch. This game is for people who like Pokemon Go, honestly, but for a lot of people who never played Pokemon before, these games are good entries into the series. Not the best, but they're good entries. There's some good in this game. You can freaking catch wild Moltres like up in the sky and stuff like that, and the ride feature, yeah. Also, I forgot to say these games brought the Pokemon walking behind you. I forgot about that. That's huge. But yeah, this game has it too. Probably does it better than the next two games, but yeah, they're solid. Next, one of the most controversial gens of all time. Probably the most controversial one. I'm gonna put it at C. Honestly, I was not the biggest hater or fan of Gen 8. Like, I loved it and I played the heck out of it. I wasn't one of the guys complaining about the Pokédex or anything, but you know, I was completely okay with Gen 8. The only problem was the region, like Galar, Solanair. It's not even. It's the worst. Like, that region's terrible. But the Pokemon are cool. Quality of life features are good. I mean, besides the wild area is kind of plain too, but besides the whole Pokédex thing, it's really not that bad. It just seems like it's a lazy Pokemon game, honestly. Alright, next, those are the worst remakes ever. I wish they would have just took the X and Y engine and just, you know, made it what we thought these remakes were going to be, but they wanted to be traditional because they were working on the next game. But yeah, these games aren't that good. Legends, I'm gonna put Legends at A because it's different. It's probably like the most different Pokemon game. Yeah, it is the most different Pokemon game. I mean, it wasn't completely open world, but I mean, they added new Pokemon in there. We got different forms of Pokemon. Well, yeah, those were the new Pokemon. You got to create the first Pokédex. This is like one of those old ROM hack games that people used to make back in the day, and it's just made by Game Freak. Like, it's a fanboy's dream, honestly. Yeah, I just like how different it is from the mainline games, or it is a mainline game, but how different it is from, you know, the other games. And last but not least, the latest ones, I'm going with an A. I think Scarlet and Violet are A. They literally pick up what the foundation that Legends Arceus put down. That's what Scarlet and Violet picks up on. A lot of people complain about the hardware and all the issues and bugs and stuff, but it's not that big of a deal, honestly. They're still great games. Yes, they're better than all these games, in my opinion. These games, nothing since this game came out, Black and White 2, nothing has touched it, in my opinion. All these are the pinnacle. But yeah, this is just my opinion. Let me know in the comment section if you agree, you know, if you would swap some stuff out. Make sure you like and you subscribe, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. Boy.